Good evening and welcome to an episode of the Drive Marketing. And this evening, Corey and I have the pleasure to sit with Miss Maddi Kerlee, owner and operator at Kerlee Cattle in Denair, California. Man, good to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Here we are sitting here talking about our Kerlee Cattle Steer Sale coming up Tuesday, September 6th on SCO. Maddie, tell us a little bit about that. This is your fourth run at a sale there in California.
Yeah, actually, this year we decided to do something a little different. My son Aaron and I together decided to split up and have two sales. So we're going to have my February steer calves. We're coming along really nice. We're able to wean them a little bit earlier. And with the price of feed right now, we decided, you know what, let's see if we can push them a little earlier and have an earlier sale. So we chose to try one in September. So we're going to have that first sale with we have 9 February calves. And then in October, I have my second sale where I feature all of my heifers. And then we've got about five late March, April steer calves in that sale. So this is our first experience of trying two. But I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty pumped about the 9 that I have to offer here. We're having an open house this Saturday. So I'm excited to show off the calves that we have.
Right. You talked about having an open house coming up this week. Tell us a little bit about. I know we're from the East, but we hear all about this famous lunch that you guys put on out there. Tell us a little bit about this. What is it? A Mexican fiesta? Is that what I hear?
We have some of the best people out here. Yes, one of the great guys, Gil Mendoza, that works for us. His wife does a phenomenal job, and it's funny. I even had people from Arizona tell me that they're actually flying in on Saturday, but the one gentleman's like, "Well, I'm not coming unless you're having that good Mexican food." So, no, it's a lot of fun, and we have a little bar, and we just try to have a good time. It's great. We get to meet a lot. Or I personally get to get out and talk to a lot of people. Aaron as well. It's a good time just to sit down and relax, kind of talk about the cattle really to our future customers.
Right. From somebody back east, you being on the West Coast, tell us exactly what part of California that you're in.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough one. Some say central, some say northern. But if you can think of where San Francisco is, we're about 2 hours east of San Francisco and 2 hours south of Sacramento. So we're kind of right there, and people call it the Valley. But it'll take us about 6 hours to get to Los Angeles from where we're located. So we're definitely an ag country. We have almonds all around us, peach trees, peach orchards. So water's tight. We have a lot of water restrictions in the ag community as well. But everyone thinks of the beaches and surfing, and we're not like that at all, to be honest. We're the number one ag producing state, by the way, in case people forgot that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The ag teacher's coming out of me. Sorry.
Gotcha. Ag teacher by day and
Yeah.
show mom by night.
Maddie, I've seen you around obviously at all the major shows and at several sales. It's no secret that you guys have sure kind of focused on the high end show cattle in the industry. Tell us a little bit about the donor herd that you guys have assembled there at Kerlee Cattle and kind of the breeds and kind of where they came from and stuff like that.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm very fortunate to have an extremely supportive husband, so that is very helpful. Our first big donor purchase, in my opinion, came from GOAT, Brian Gottemiller there in Indiana. We have a really good maternal maid that my son Aaron showed when he was in his show career there, and she's done a tremendous job for us. We got an epic daughter out of her this last year that was pretty darn phenomenal. That went to some majors and did really well. And unfortunately, we had a little trouble keeping her in the halter, but otherwise, she's a pretty good one. So that cow's done a great job for us. We've got some here I ams coming out of her that I'm looking forward to. I also have done a lot of business with Doris Show Cattle. I've got a couple really good donors with him, and I actually have one of them out here with me in California. And that 164Z, she's a whiskey Kelly. She's done a super job, and I'm excited to have her here. I got her bred back to In God We Trust, and really looking forward to that calf this next year. I've got a couple of her calves actually in the sale, both sales coming up, and she's done a great job for us. I got a really nice Charlet donor that you guys will probably see here in a little bit. Again, she's just done a tremendous job for us. This is her third calf that she'll have in the sale this year, and I flushed her as well. I haven't gotten any of her monopolies on the ground yet, but she's just done a super job for us. And then, as you know, Corey, I've always been a little partial to the Shorthorns, and that's kind of how we started. Is when Aaron came to me and wanted to show, I was like, finally, one of my kids wants to show cattle. I grew up in the Angus industry, and I didn't know if I was ready to make that adjustment again, and I wanted to try a different breed. And so I said, you know what, I think we can play a little bit in the Shorthorn deal. And I have the utmost respect for Josh Elder. That individual is just beyond that. I just admire him so much. And so he's the reason behind my Shorthorn herd. I'll be straight up. I took care. We went back there several times and bought heifers. He sent me heifers several times. Everything's exactly what he had said. And I trust him 100%. And so my Shorthorn herd is based basically off of Sullivan. And I've got a quick little cow. She's got a calf in the sale this year, as well as every single year. And her calves have just she's one out of that 434P cow clone. That's now I think got the 6th clone, and she's just phenomenal. And I've just had so much success with her. So long story short, my donors are pretty much old show heifers. And I'm actually just in the process. I've just been purchasing a few other ones recently, but my goal is to always purchase a better one than what I have. I really have to search and try hard because, if you're going to buy one, let's buy a better one. It costs just as much to feed a good one as it does a bad one. So let's buy a good one.
Right.
Absolutely.
That must be a West Coast philosophy, because I've heard, you just said, if I'm going to buy one, I got to buy one better than I got. There's a Hereford breed that's from out there. Mark McClintock used to always say, if you can't buy a cow that fits in the top 10% of cow herds, she don't need bought. And so that's 2 times I heard it, both of you
Really?
in the West Coast. So
I think that's really
know.
important. Yeah, it's important.
Right. Awesome. Hey, let's get right to these cattle. I know when I got the pictures and looked through them, I mean, they're incredible to look at. And we're going to start off with the AA donor 2, an outsider firewater donor. If you guys tell us a little bit about this female.
Yeah, I got a phone call. I don't remember how many years now, a few years ago. Cale Hensley got a hold of me, and he's like, "Hey, Maddi, I've got a Charlet that I think we should look at." And I was into Shorthorns, and I'm like, a Charlet? And I'd actually done a little business with him a year or so before on a different char, and I was like, yeah, what the heck? Send me a video. And before you know it, Carter Ward was in the conversation, and I'll be honest, it only took me about 7 minutes, and I bought that thing. That's just kind of how I work. I'm very passionate. When I find something that I like it. And if I have to really search and hunt on one, then, I kind of start second guessing. But this female is just phenomenal. She's so sound, and she's just, I don't want to say picture perfect because there's not such one, but she fits, she just, checks all the boxes, as they say. I just think she's phenomenal. I'm really looking forward to her offspring. I actually AI'd her to Mr. Outrageous, so I'll be doing a little risky there with some outsider, but she's got a heifer calf in her for the spring, and I'm pretty pumped about that. But she like I said, she's just one of those that is an easy buy for me. It was a no miss. Aaron showed her at Blackout and a couple of the shows out here, and she went on to be California State Fair Supreme Champion, which doesn't happen a lot for Charlets out here. So she's a pretty special one.
Right.
And what was this one sired by, Maddi?
Outsider. M&M out. Yeah. Yep. And then her calf is in the sale as lot 3 this year. That's right, calf.
It's lot, okay. You bet. Yep. So I thought she had, you bet.
Yeah, that's good. No, that's just an incredible looking cow that, just early on in her career, she wins. She wins at the tail end of her career, and now she's a producer, and she's doing just exactly what you bought her for.
Right.
She's starting to generate a little bit, Corey.
Yep. That's right. That is right. And the next one is the lot. Is this one lot 2, Maddie?
No,
This
is
one's
lot
lot 3. So this is
Lot
her
3.
natural calf. Yeah, this is that's
Okay.
right calf. Yeah. Out
This
of that.
is out of that cow. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you
he's had a lot of lookers. I've been fortunate enough to have about 3 guys from Texas out here to look through my stock, and I obviously don't live in Texas, but they're telling me he's that kind. So he's hairy, but we get slick. Just so people know, we do slick our calves off because it gets so hot here. So I mean, it was 104 today, and it's supposed to be 106 this weekend for my open house, but we do slick them off. So everything that people see here on my sale is, fresh hair coming back in or already there. But they say he's going to be a good slick one. So I'm kind of excited to see if he does get to Texas to see how that ends up. But I think this calf's got a lot of good in that calf.
He's got a lot of meat and muscle.
Yep.
What size is that calf? Is he?
I know Aaron brought the scale down today, but honestly, he actually had to go to Fresno Airport to pick up somebody, so he's not here. But I didn't get a chance yet to talk to him about weights. But he is a February calf, and I'm kind of guessing the high 5s, right there in the low 6s is probably where I get. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Wow,
Yep.
that's impressive. The that's right cattle in our country, they've been quite popular, especially you talk about his build and the pedigree behind him on the cow side. He shows lots of upside to him. So
yeah, I'm excited about that one.
Absolutely. Hey, let's talk about lot 9. Here I am out of the 615, the Danny Boy Prophet daughter that works at Doris Cattle, an embryo purchase, I think here.
Right. Yeah, I purchased embryos from Luke a couple years back, and I was finally able to get one on the ground. And this calf, we put him on lot 9, I guess, in the sale, and he didn't take the best picture. And my problem is I get my calves pretty gentle, and so sometimes that's bad for pictures and for videos. But he just not that he's downheaded, but just wasn't quite as alert as some of the other calves. But I kind of baby this one. He's pretty special to me. I just think there's a lot of good things in that calf, and I'm just super excited. I actually got to see his full sib before he went to South Dakota State Fair, about a year and a half ago, I guess it was.
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just really excited about that calf, and I think that he has a lot of potential. So I'm pretty proud of him. Like I said, he's at the very bottom of the sale, so hopefully people don't miss him for that reason. But it'll be fun to see. It'll be fun to see how he turns out.
Yep. There was, there's been, I don't know how many. I bet you Luke's had 7 or 8 full sibs, and they have. All you got to do is put corn in front of them. They feed very, very well. Dalton Hartman's family in Nebraska fed one that was 3rd overall at Sioux Falls 2 years ago. And the Effling family in South Dakota had reserve at South Dakota State Fair with the full sib. But they're just good feeding, good doing cattle.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm pretty excited to see how that one turns out.
Absolutely. This next one, Maddie, goes lot 1 goes back to your shorthorn donor, the Crystal cow.
Yeah, this calf, in my opinion, has got fat steer written all over him. This thing is good. He is so sound. He's so good at the ground. I just really think this calf's got a lot of potential. Shorthorn Junior Nationals, if someone was interested in that type of deal too. But in my opinion, for when in doubt, he's so cool up front, and just soggy made. And I'm honest, and sometimes that probably gets me in trouble. But I don't know if he'll go out and win a jackpot show tomorrow. But this thing down the road, I think, is gonna just be big time. I like I said, I know that Crystal cow, and I don't know if I put it in the deal there, but his full sib was our high seller last year. That went to Michigan. He did really well for the Harris family. They've hit a lot of backdrops with that calf, and I just think the when in doubt cross on that Crystal, Crystal cow just really, really works. So I'm excited for this calf. I hope he goes to a really good home.
Well, that picture is absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, he's cool looking.
My goodness.
Yeah, pretty stunning for sure. There's no doubt about it. Let's talk about this lot 7. You tell when this year hits the wave of social media. I guess I've got to watch him on social media from early on through Snapchat and whatnot, and visiting with you. Here I am out of the 16-1, the extra special Monopoly female. Holy smokes! Look at this.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good one. We've had so much interest in this calf, and I actually kept him a bull for a little while. I kind of thought something might happen there, but it did, so that's fine. We actually left him and the 615 calf intact for a little bit longer, and I was trying to decide if I was going to keep one of them or if maybe they'd go someplace else. But long story short, we went ahead and cut, and I'm just really impressed with this year. I've had so much interest in him, and I have shown a few videos of him throughout his life. And, some people say you shouldn't do that, but I'm sure you guys have figured out by now. I'm pretty excited about this deal. I love my cattle. I like to, I don't want to say show them off, but I like to show what we're doing. And I'm always trying to get better. And sometimes people will give me some helpful criticism, which, it always makes us better in the end. So I'm glad that I've showed him off a little bit throughout his short life so far. But this thing, yeah, he's a stud. I mean, he's extra special, I guess, like his mom's name, but the bull's name. But yeah, I just think the thing is, I mean, he's so soft-legged. He's so correct. Good hip. Just, I mean, this comes up high out of his shoulder. He's just really good. It's just, he's a good one.
Yeah, he looks. See, the only problem with it is him as ownership, I'd say.
Yeah. We'll see. And that's mine too. He is hairy, and again, he was licked off the very end of April, beginning of May too. And he has got shag. So I definitely know he's gonna have good hair too. It's not just hair. He's got good hair.
Right. Yeah, he would have taken a hell of a promo picture for Oklahoma City for sure. Denver for a bull, I would have bet. Boy.
I don't know how many Snapchats I've seen of him, whether it's a little short video of him on the cow. I don't know that I've ever seen this have a bad day. I mean, he's always
got some elephant feet on him too.
Yeah,
he was born with those things, Corey.
Yeah, I'll bet. Unbelievable.
Yeah, pretty high.
I'm pretty proud of him. I wish I would have bred him, but like I said, I'm pretty proud I was able to get those embryos bought, and I actually did. I got a hold of Brad Smith, and I got some more embryos of that same cow on This Is It, and I've got a couple coming this spring. So I'm, it's to be different mating, but I think that cow just is probably a no miss cow. So I'm excited to see those calves hit the ground.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So go ahead, Corey.
Well, Maddi, another thing we were going to touch on tonight, you were talking about wanting to leave that one intact and promote a bull, but you did actually purchase into a bull prospect this year that was sure one of the most talked about bulls in the breeding season this spring. Search is over.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about him. I'm very fortunate that Luke Doris kind of keeps me in the loop with a lot of stuff. I told Luke about 4 years ago, I said, I'd really like a cleanup bull. I said, I teach full time. I'm a mag teacher. My son was away at college. We had just hired Claire Gladman to help me at the show barn, but I needed some cow help. And I was like, I need a bull. I just need somebody to clean up, And so Luke would send me pictures every once in a while, and I'd be like, maybe not that one. And then we'd talk about another one. Long story short, it just didn't work out, and it's fine. I mean, I didn't have to have a bull, but it would have been easier for me working full time. But anyway, last summer, about June, middle of June, I think. I was at a junior national, and he gets a hold of me, and he's like, hey, I have a bull. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm kind of busy. And long story short, once again, he shoots me a video and a picture, and he's like, hey, a couple of guys have passed this calf up. He's like, I think you need to look at him. And again, 10 minutes, I'm like, done. And about 20 minutes later, Chip goes, my husband says, was that for all of them or half? I'm like, oh, crap. crap, I don't know, I didn't ask. So I called him back. I'm like, what'd I just buy? And he's like, you bought half. I'm like, okay. But it was a pretty sweet deal. So that was he was supposed to be my cleanup bull. And of course, I loved his mating. He's a monopoly out of that 1244 cow that Wade and Luke own together, who's a phenomenal cow. And so
She's an Irish whiskey Kellee.
Yeah, pretty pumped about that. And then when we ended up deciding that maybe he should go to stud and not come out to California, I was like, okay. So long story short, he's standing back there, and he's been jumping. He's been selling out pretty much, not so much now, but during season, week to week. And I know they were pretty excited. So I own half, and then Wade and Luke own the other percentage. And we sold just about 1,100 units, and that's pretty cool for a rookie.
First year old, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think on the Here I Am, because he's clean. So I think on those Here I Am daughters, I think he's just gonna rock it. I think he's gonna do outstanding.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's probably been a more dominant cow line in this world than that cow line was, and it's obviously running through his veins. So good deal.
Yeah, so I'm very fortunate, like I said, that he touched base with me on that calf, because, you know, he could have called somebody else, but he let me know. So I'm very thankful for that opportunity.
Okay, good deal.
Absolutely.
Right. Hey, talk to us real quick. You know, if you're out and about, you're searching for a home per se, wanting to buy a calf, wanting somebody to help you along, you're new. Talk to us about customer service at Kerlee Cattle and what it entails. What you get out of it. Talk to us just a little bit about why that's important, one, and number two, what it is you guys do.
Okay. Well, excuse me, as I mentioned, I am a teacher, so there's always that education in me that wants to come out, and sometimes the kids tell me to relax, you know, but I just really think it's important to try to help as much as I can. But basically, if somebody buys a calf from us, you know, we're here for them. We will help in any way possible. There's people that want help and there's people that don't, and I totally understand that. But we will help from the feeding aspect. You know, I always kind of wish that I would have got my PhD in nutrition. I never finished that way, but I'm very, very interested, and that's something that's really intriguing to me. But I love feeding cattle. I love the challenge. And so I try to kind of instill that and share that with the people that we're helping. So I really focus on trying to get one fed right, because we all know someone can buy the best calf that you think you have, and if they don't feed it right, it's not going to turn out. So to me, that is super, super important. I also go through when somebody buys a calf, I have a little like booklet that I give them, and you know, I talk about care and worming and taking care of their feet, making sure they get their hooves trimmed. I mean, it sounds maybe basic, but there are some people that just have no clue. They don't understand at all. Even something as simple, which another thing I learned, and I always learn things. I mean, I think we're always learning every day, but I even put notes in my book for this year, something that I never thought about. Somebody had left a halter on their calf and didn't realize that the steer's head was going to grow. And so kind of like, you know how like a dog's collar could get tight? It was like in the back of its ear. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's just, to me, that's simple, but some people just don't realize that. And so I always try to make little notes about things, just making sure you adjust your halter if you're going to leave it on, you know, whatever. But long story short, there's always things that you could teach others. But I just go over basic daily care. I go over hair care, and you know, something as simple as you know, what size of blower do you have, or do you own a blower? All that, as far as rinsing, and do you need to wash? Do you not need to wash? Do you have a cooler? Do you have fans? You know, the whole setup. Because some people will buy, but they just have a little tiny corral, or you know, whatever. So I go through all that with them, and then you know, where I'm always a text or a phone call away, which is always great. Erin does a phenomenal job of clipping and getting those calves ready for show. You know, we kind of tease. It's been like kind of a family joke. I grew up in the cattle deal. My dad, I grew up on a 1,000-acre cattle ranch, and my dad was very involved in the ag and in the beef industry. And my dad was a great clipper, and eventually I became, and you know, not that I'm great, but I could clip and get stuff done. So he kind of passed the clippers off to me, and I used to do a lot of clipping, and then, Aaron hit about 15, and I'm like, you know what? This is all you now, dude. So I've kind of passed it all off to Aaron, which has been great. He does a super job. So we provide clipping services for our customers, and then when a steer goes to its end point, so once the steer goes to its end fat show, we will come and clip that steer for free for you. And Aaron, I know, just drove to Monterey a couple days ago and helped a kid out that bought a calf from me this last year. So again, we try to help with nutrition, daily care and maintenance, and then prepping for show too, making sure those hooves are correct. And then if they need help with fitting, they can get a hold of us and we can help them fit a calf. They go to the jackpot show or something like that. So I consider us kind of well-rounded. It depends on the customer. It depends on the people, but we're always willing to help. And I know I personally am always available to assist if anybody needs it.
You've hit on it a time or two. You talked about Aaron. For those of you watching that don't know Aaron, that's your son, Aaron, and you've got a heck of a good crew. You've mentioned your husband, who is a big part of it. He stays out of your way probably, right, but he's a huge part of it. He's very knowledgeable. You've got two boys that are involved, very knowledgeable. But talk about you've got someone pretty special there at Show Barn too.
Yes, I do. So I have my two sons, Kyle and Aaron, and actually they're both getting married in the next couple of months, so it's crazy around here. But Aaron is getting married just in a couple of weeks on the 24th of September, and he's marrying a nice young lady who's big into her family's into cattle, so that's kind of fun. And then Kyle is marrying the gal that works at my place, Claire Gladman, and Claire has an outstanding job. She works that hair and she works my babies almost every day for me, and I just greatly appreciate her as well, because Aaron's here at the ranch and he takes care of the herd and he helps out in all the cow side of stuff, and then Claire's at my house in my little show barn, and she does a tremendous job as well. So I'm very fortunate to have both of them. And then Kyle, my older son, he was big into football. He played college ball. And then he always has showed the sheep. And so he's kind of the sheep jock guy. And he's got a family right now that he's helping. And that's been very successful. And it's fun as a parent to see your kids move on and help others and pass on what they've learned. And that's a pretty proud moment for a mom, I guess, to watch that. But I'm very proud of both the boys. And I'm very proud that Claire is at my place working as well as Aaron.
Right. Yeah. Hey, tell us a little bit. I'm sure just because of your location, there's going to be people that are just a little worried about getting them to their, home to their place. What do you got kind of lined up? Do you got that taken care of?
Yeah, I've already talked to Bob May. I've got his phone number there on the SEO deal, but he knows the dates of both of my sales, and he's already trying to line up so that he can have a truck ready here that Monday to kind of start hauling stuff back. So a lot of it depends, if he's going 80 or 40, but long story short, he's well aware of it. A buddy of mine down the road, Josh Souza Show Cattle, he has a sale the day after both of mine. So that also helps out with transportation to have a couple different guys selling. Shane Strickler up in Colusa, it's about 3 hours north of me. His sale is also the same day as mine on the 6th. And he has a mainly Simmental heifer. Well, he's got lots of heifers, but he focuses in the Simmentals. His sale is also the same time. So it's kind of nice. There's about 3 or 4 of us out here that are selling. I know Ferris Simon is a week or so after mine, same as Todd Fair. So it's kind of nice that there's, and I think there's enough people selling out here to get some cattle back.
Right. You bet.
Yep. Well, we sure appreciate you taking time to come on tonight, Maddi, and good luck with the sale. They look fantastic.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.